Do you pray? And if you pray, do you think about what you say when you pray? Is there any respect when you pray? We will discuss this further after these messages.
And you can change it in a nick of time, even if you decide to leave the stars behind. You say one word, I say amazing. Yeah, yeah. You say one word, I say amazing.
So, as I said, and I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. Do you pray? And if you do pray, are you careful about the things that you say? Is there any respect when you pray? Here's the thing, guys. Why do we pray? And many people can say what they want. People can have their own opinions and say, well, I pray for, certain things that I need. I pray for healing. I pray for direction. Whatever it is, I think we need to talk about this. I think you guys need to know and realize how important and careful you need to be when talking to the Father. Turn to your books, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, and we'll start from the top. King James Version. It says here, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of the words. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice, and destroy the work of thine hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words there are also diverse vanities. But fear thou God. In other words, guys, it says here in the ERV version, be very careful when you go to worship God. It is better to listen to than to give sacrifices to fools, like fools. Fools often do bad things, and they don't even know it. Be careful when you make promises to God. Be careful about what you say to Him. Don't let your feelings cause you to speak too soon. God is in heaven and you are on the earth. So you need to say only a few things to him. This saying is true. Bad dreams come from too many worries, and too many words come from the mouth of a fool. If you make a promise to God, keep your promise. Don't be slow to do what you promised. God is not happy with fools. Give God what you promised to give him. It is better to promise nothing than to promise something and not be able to do it. So don't let your words cause you to sin. Don't say to the priest, I didn't mean what I said. If you do this, God might become angry with your words and destroy everything you have worked for. You should not let your useless dreams and bragging bring you trouble. You should respect God. Folks, you ever had a 9-to-5 job? Have you ever, had a meeting, a one-on-one meeting with just you and your boss? I have before. Quite a few times, actually. And every time I enter that room, that meeting room, where I am meeting my boss, there is a lot of respect. Okay? And I am careful with what I say, right? I don't just go into that conversation blabbering my mouth and saying a whole bunch of stuff. There is an utmost respect, especially if you are having an interview and trying to get that job. You put on this whole persona, and whether it be fake or whether it be true, the fact is, the majority of us, when we go into an interview, like I said, we put on this persona and we approach the interview with the utmost respect in hopes that we get that job, right? We put on this nice clothes, right? We put on very nice apparel, a suit, if you will, or a beautiful dress, business attire, right? You see, that shows that you care. Before you walk into that interview, you make sure you are presented well because you care about this interview. You care about talking appropriately to your boss. But who's the big boss? Right? Who is the boss? Who is the one that created this earth, the heavens, hell, Sheol, the depths of the earth, the fountains, the windows of heaven, the stars, the moon and the sun, right? Us, and everything in it. Who is this boss? Well, it's quite obvious, right? It's God. It's the Father. Folks, and when you pray, you ever stop to think, hold on, before I do this, I have to be presentable. I have to approach this prayer with the utmost respect. You ever think about that? Folks, when you pray, the reason why we pray is because we believe. right? You don't just pray for no reason. When someone is praying, you're praying because you believe. You believe that there is a higher power listening to you. Unless you're crazy, right? But no, you're not. You know exactly what you're doing. And when you pray, like I said, the majority of us, I for one, I can admit it, I catch myself approaching the Father with less respect. And that's just the truth. I'm glad I noticed it, and I'm glad I'm bringing it to the public and let you guys know that, hey, we're praying to the Father. It ain't just anybody. All right? We often show respect to our elders. We often show respect to our loved ones. We often show respects to our parents. We often show respect to our bosses, our supervisors at work, the leads. Now, what about the Father? How much respect are you showing him? Do you just go into a prayer, blabbering your mouth and saying, God, I want this, God, I want that? You see, I can admit this, and I can tell you guys the truth. I have not prayed like that in forever. In a long time. I have not prayed like, God, please give me this, please give me that. Because I know he's not a genie. All right? He is our Father. The majority of the time when I pray, it's mainly to give thanks. It's mainly to ask for strength to endure whatever trial I'm going through. Because why do I need to pray for food? Why do I need to pray for that when it's already here? He feeds the sparrows every day. What makes you think he's not going to feed us? Food is here. It's common sense. We just got to find it. Right? And I'm pretty sure it's not that hard. Although it may be hard for some people in third world countries. But that's because they're being governed by a corrupt government. Where is the respect? For our Father. This is not just anyone, guys. This is the Father. And when we pray, and I have to take my advice too, when I pray, there needs to be an utmost respect to him. I hope this helps you guys this morning, or whenever you decide to watch this. And as always, you guys be safe out there. Be blessed. Until next time.
You say one word, I say amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You say one word, I say amazing.